YouTube is FlyLikeZero. You just call me Zero. And today we are reacting to Solo Leveling is a must watch by Moist Critical. See what this dude is yapping about today.
I love you.
I love you too.
You ever heard those words before?
No.
Well, you have now. You know what else I love? Solo Leveling.
I love Solo
I think
Leveling
it is a must-watch show. It's a little something called anime. Might have heard of it before. Solo Leveling has really blown up with the success of Season 2. It has exploded in popularity. It's broken a bunch of records, and not to put the pinky out and the fedora on, but I liked it a lot during Season 1 too, and I was preaching the good word even back then. I know it's a little hipster thing to say, but yeah, I was sucking its dick before it was cool. Though I haven't read the manhwa that it's based on, so I'm not like a primordial meat swallower of Solo Leveling, but I was an early adopter. But now everyone's throwing it in a big way because the show is extraordinary. It is a really, really good show. It's a very straightforward show with a simple premise we've seen hundreds of times before.
Right. No,
it's not trying to reinvent spaghetti and meatballs here. It's perfectly content doing it very well. So it's basically a world where humans have awakened magical power, and these gates are starting to appear which act like dungeons in video games, if any of you are gamers out there. And the humans that have these powers become hunters more often than not, and they are ranked from E to S. E being dog shit tier, absolutely useless, bottom of the barrel, to S being the creme de la creme, the best the society has to offer.
Hold on, and I'm gonna pause it right there because from what I just seen from that last episode, you can really technically rank everybody in like the lowest or rank only because of the fact that I feel like if you're not Jinwoo, then you're not good. Cause like, bro, Shaheen got dropped, every S rank got dropped. Godo, Godo, they was glazing this man for like 2-3 episodes. He got off screen. It wasn't even like they showed us a battle. He got off screen. He's a scrub. Like how did the shadows do more than the S rank hunters? Like, okay, and that's when we won the last time I paused. But like, I just want to get my point across because like everybody in that show is really not that great.
So these hunters will take these missions from their guilds, or sometimes not even with guild work, and go to the gates, defeat the boss to close the gate. The hunters protect the rest of humanity by closing these gates so that way the magic beasts don't come in and fuck us all in the face. And that's kind of the whole idea of the world in a nutshell, and we follow the weakest hunter of them all, Sung Jin-woo. Now, real quick before I dive into what makes the show super special and extremely good, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this video. Big thanks to DC Dark Legion for sponsoring this video. DC Dark Legion is a new official DC game. It's available through the iOS and Google Play Store, so available on mobile and PC.
DC and good.
It's a pretty simple game, making it optimal for pickup and play, so you can enjoy it anytime. Who is absolute trash. He can't fight shit, and he is useless to pretty much every party he's on. He is a knuckle sandwich magnet. The magic beasts treat him just like this fucking meat punching bag for them to dominate. And he is well known as the weakest hunter in this world. I mean, but even though he still gets walloped by anything with a pulse, he continues to go on these dangerous missions through these gates as an E-rank hunter, getting his clock clean time and time again for the singular purpose of trying to make money through being a hunter to hopefully at some point save his mother from an incurable disease. When one of his missions goes awry and everyone in his party starts to be slaughtered from a gate that turned into something a little bit more, Sung Jin-woo is facing death directly. And he is lamenting how all of it is playing out. He is sacrificing himself to save others, and it just feels so unfair. And right before he's about to perish, at the last second before his death, he was chosen by the system to be its player, which gives him an ability no other hunters that we know of have. The ability to level up. So he can level up his strength and everything like that, just like a video game. And now, Sung Jin-woo has unlimited potential through his ability to level up.
Oh yeah, and for that, the leveling up, I feel like that's broken in any verse. Because what do you mean you could just look? He literally proved something I was talking about to my brother in season 1. When he leveled up mid-fight against Biru, that was ridiculous. Like, when I get the chance, I may react to that. Like if y'all want to see that, I will react to that. But he leveled up mid fight against Biru. I think it was, mind you, it was like the only time Biru hit him in a fight. Like, which is crazy.
And he also gets quests. He gets items. He gets summons. And we get to watch him go from the weakest hunter in the world to the strongest hunter the universe has to offer, at least that we've seen so far. As I said earlier, it's not a unique concept. This is a premise I've seen explored before in other shows as well. But Solo Leveling does it very well, and it's also beautifully animated. The big thing that has blown Solo Leveling up is its action. The animation for all of its action, and there is a lot of action, is just to a top-notch degree that people are loving it. And it helps that it is well written. Like, it is a good story, and it isn't, like, always just right in your face. Everything's just like, you know, put the square in the square hole. There are a lot of twists and moving parts to the narrative itself, but that's not, I would argue, that's not like the bread and butter of the show. The big thing that people love is Sung Jin-woo and his aura farming, as they call it, but just the way that he is able to fight and the way he's able to get stronger. And we get to watch him fight stronger and stronger enemies as he comes up with creative solutions to the combat. He gets so many items, so many abilities, and so many summons at his disposal that it makes every fight feel super fucking fresh and really cool. And the animation is breathtaking. This is, I would say, this is up there with like Jujutsu Kaisen level animation. Like their fights, I think are,
cause like I ain't gonna lie, I ain't debating with that.
So good. It also has an absolute slapper of a soundtrack. So during some of the fights, you'll hear the OST kick in, and it just elevates it to such a hype level. Now, while I think Solo Leveling is a must-watch, I don't think it's a perfect show. I think there's quite a few valid complaints, especially when it comes to Season 1. So, Danny has been watching Solo Leveling since all of this hype around it. He wanted to get in and see if it's as good as it is, you know, as people lead him to believe it is. So he just started it recently, and he's really liking it, but he had some, like, really valid complaints that I also said about Season 1 in particular, where there's not really any characters outside of Sung Jin-woo. Like, yes, there's some...
Then I'm going to keep it a buck. He going to be complaining the whole rest of the show. I personally read the book because the show was that good. Hey, so is y'all, if that's something that y'all complain about. Because other than... Hold on. Would this not be spoiling?
Some other people that are introduced, but they're never really fleshed out. They're kind of just there in the background, just kind of idly doing shit, while Sung Jin-woo is going through all of these gates and his own quests by himself. I mean, as the name would imply, solo leveling. But that kind of makes it so you never really get to care about anyone besides Jin-woo, because you just don't really get to know anyone besides him. Which for some people, they're not going to give a fuck, but I do think it is a valid thing to say. You know, it felt a little underwhelming that you only have one character that you ever really care about, and that also every fight Jin-woo gets in usually wraps up in like 1 or maybe 1.5 episodes. Throughout all of Solo Leveling, we're watching him become just fucking busted strong. Like, he is overpowering everyone pretty easily most of the time. There are a lot of times, mainly in Season 1, where it is like life and death. He gets very close and then squeaks it out. But for the most part, he is dog walking them. He is absolutely eating their lunch. He comes through. He's got...
Yeah, that Biru fight, that's my complaint. Yeah, that would be the only complaint I got. The Biru fight, are you out your mind? So the Icarus fight, he was supposed to die there. But then you get the Biru fight, he fighting this OP ant. Only gets touched one time. And I think the second time he almost got touched is when he like went up and like he almost stabbed him in the eye. And you telling me you got so scared you upgraded like 5 levels to make sure you don't get touched? No. I'm gonna be honest. That is the only complaint I got. Like, we're not gonna get no fight where it's gonna be like evenly matched after Icarus. It's not, and like I'm sure the anime is gonna make it to where like it's enjoyable. So some fights they gonna up the pace and like do that thing they did where they would clash. But like other than that, he's not getting touched. He literally is not getting touched. I don't know how he didn't get touched by Beru like at all. It didn't make no sense. And especially for him to have to jump up 5 levels after getting smacked one time, that should have showed like he could have at least got hit a few more times. But
hands by his side, cool, calm, collected, and he just fucks him. And it's very hype. It's very cool. But I do think it could be kind of lackluster for people where you build up to this really strong boss fight that ends in like 5 or 6 minutes because Jinwoo just slaps them around. It feels like, okay, he's like One Punch Man almost at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I could see why that could be not as satisfying to watch for some people, but for me, and I guess tons of other people, it is. Because the fights are still really beautiful. Jinwoo, I still think, is a really strong character, not just like in terms of his actual power, but like I actually think he is just a compelling character to watch and root for. But it is fair to say that if he's never challenged, it would get stale. Because you want to see him actually have to try and struggle against a really strong enemy where he finally overcomes it. You know, that's part of the hero's journey. And we do...
Which about that is good is because they only putting it down to 5 seasons. So we don't have... It's not like we're going to deal like 10 seasons of this guy. Literally just the same over and over and over. Got 3 more years of this guy doing this, young. And... 3 years, I mean, 3 years, 12 episodes, that shouldn't bore y'all. Especially if they're going to keep the animation good, the pacing good, and hit us with cliffhangers to keep us on edge. I feel like, personally, that's going to keep it a 10 for me. Because I know I've known Jinwoo since I was in middle school when I read the webtoon. So I know, when this was announced, I became the biggest fanboy. So... I'm going to watch the whole thing, but I don't know about all y'all that's calling it stale or not. But I know me personally, I'm watching it.
Still get that. But I definitely recognize that in season 2, we're mainly just watching him go ballistic and never really getting into a situation where I felt like, oh, he might lose or he's going to have to really squeak some miracle out here to win this. It always felt like Jinwoo was firmly in control during all of it, even the strongest final fight. Now in season 2, we do get to learn about a few more characters to actually give a fuck about, which I think is very nice. So in season 1, it's pretty much only Jinwoo that anyone is gonna care about, but season 2, we get a lot more characters coming into the fold because now he is an S rank and everyone knows now. Everyone in the world knows he's an S rank, so now we get to meet the other S ranks, and some of them get a little bit of depth added to them, which I think is good because there should be more characters that you give a fuck about other than Jinwoo.
Unplug my PC.
I think Jinwoo is always going to be the biggest draw in Solo Leveling because he's the most interesting and most hype character the show has so far. But it is nice that now there are some other characters that we get to learn about in season 2 that I think people would like to see stick around and not get, eviscerated. Anyway, though, I'll stop yapping about it. I think Solo Leveling is a must-watch, especially for anyone that likes, over-the-top anime action. Facts. It's a beautifully...
But his take on them other S ranks is trash. Honestly, I was hoping a few more of them died. Even though I knew they wasn't going to die, because, again, I read most of it. But, I was hoping a few of them died, because I really do not like the other S rank. I only like Chahin, the blonde hair one, I think his name is Ju Yuk, the one with the red hair that shoot fire. The rest of them is scrubs, man.
The animated show and just a great time. That's really about it. See ya.
Yep, see you too.